In 2016, Richmond was coming off a long premiership drought. The Tigers had talent, but they hadn't won a flag since 1980. Fans were hungry. Critics doubted them. The club knew it had the pieces, but consistency and leadership were missing. That all began to change with the emergence of a trio that would dominate the AFL landscape: Dustin Martin, Trent Cotchin, and Rance. It all started with Dustin Martin, the young midfielder from Castlemaine. Martin was drafted in 2009, but early in his career, he struggled to find a consistent role. Injuries, form slumps, and the weight of the expectations made him a player of immense potential, but inconsistent output. By 2016, however, Martin had developed into one of the most versatile and explosive midfielders in the league. He could burst through packs, win contested ball, and deliver precision when it mattered most. His combination of speed, agility, and sheer physical presence made him a nightmare for opponents. Alongside Martin was Trent Cotchin, the club captain and a proven leader. Cotchin had been drafted in 2007 and had already won a Brownlow medal in 2012, cementing his reputation as one of the league's elite midfielders. Cotchin's influence wasn't just in his ball-winning ability, it was his leadership. On the field, he dictated tempo, guided younger players, and made crucial decisions under pressure. Off the field, he fostered culture and resilience within the team, ensuring that Richmond had not only skill, but also unity. The final piece of the puzzle was Rance, arguably the premier defender of his era. Drafted in 2007, Rance was a cornerstone of Richmond's backline, standing at 194 centimeters, with elite agility and intercepting ability. Rance could shut down the league's best forwards. But what made him truly exceptional was his ability to influence games both defensively and offensively. His precision kicks from the backline and composure under pressure allowed Richmond to transition quickly from defense to attack, often turning opposition pressure into scoring opportunities. The trio's chemistry began to show in 2016, Richmond's first taste of finals in years. Martin's explosive bursts, Cotchin's leadership, and Rance's defensive mastery allowed the Tigers to reach the preliminary finals, though they ultimately fell short. Critics noted that while the trio was special, they needed more experience together and a finals mindset to truly dominate. Then came 2017. Everything changed. Richmond's preseason was intense. Head coach Damien Hardwick had spent years building a system that relied on contested ball strength, pressure, and elite decision-making. A system tailor-made for Martin, Cotchin, and Rance. From round one, the Tigers were electrifying. Martin dominated through the midfield, often breaking lines with bursts that no opponent could contain. Cotchin controlled the engine room, directing traffic and dictating the game plan. Rance patrolled the backline, mollifying dangerous forwards and intercepting balls at critical moments. One early season highlight was round 5 against Geelong, where Martin racked up 35 disposals and 3 goals. Cotchin had 28 disposals and 6 clearances, and Rance kept key forward Tom Hawkins to just 1 goal. The synergy between them was undeniable. Martin's bursts were supported by Cotchin's leadership, and any counterattack was channeled through Rance's impeccable positioning. Media recognition followed quickly. The Herald Sun noted in May 2017, Richmond's spine, Cotchin, Martin, Rance, is arguably the best in the league. When these three click, Richmond is unstoppable. Pundits across AFL media were unanimous. This trio wasn't just talented individually, they were transformational collectively. By mid-season, Richmond had climbed to the top of the ladder, showcasing a combination of physicality, speed, and strategic dominance. In round 14 against Adelaide, the Tigers' supremacy was on full display. Martin had 4 goals and 32 disposals. Cotchin commanded 30 clearances, and Rance had 15 marks, including several intercepts that halted Adelaide's momentum. Fans and commentators alike began using the phrase, the Richmond spine, to describe the trio's influence. Off the field, the trio's dynamic was equally impressive. Cotchin's leadership set the tone. Martin's competitiveness pushed everyone around him to new levels, and Rance's professionalism provided calm and composure. They had complementary skills. Cotchin, the orchestrator, Martin, the explosiveness, Rance, the defensive anchor, creating balance in every phase of the game. The final series in 2017 was where the trio truly cemented their legacy. Richmond finished the home and away season in third place, securing a double chance. In the qualifying final against Geelong, Martin exploded for 4 goals. Cotchin gathered 28 disposals, and Rance limited key forwards while intercepting multiple entries. Richmond won convincingly, sending a message to the league. This trio was ready to lift the premiership. Then came the preliminary final against GWS Giants. The Giants were massive challengers, boasting height, speed, and elite young talent. But Martin, Cotchin, and Rance combined to neutralize every threat. Martin's ability to break lines created scoring opportunities. Cotchin's leadership maintained discipline and structure under pressure, and Rance's intercepting ability nullified GWS's attacking patterns. Richmond won by a significant margin, booking a spot in the grand final for the first time since 1980. The 2017 grand final against Adelaide Crows was the ultimate showcase of their dominance. From the first bounce, Martin, Cotchin, and Rance dictated play. Martin ran riot through the midfield, gathering 33 disposals, 3 goals, and 11 clearances, dominating the ball in the contested situations that mattered most. Cotchin's leadership was exemplary, with 30 disposals, 8 clearances, and multiple defensive tackles, keeping Adelaide from mounting a comeback. And Rance's defensive mastery was on full display, intercepting critical entries, shutting down Adelaide's forwards, and launching counterattacks. Commentators were unanimous in their praise. AFL.com.au wrote, "The trio has carried Richmond back to the pinnacle. Martin's brilliance, Cotchin's poise, and Rance's dominance make them arguably the most lethal combination in AFL history." Social media erupted with clips of Martin weaving through packs, Cotchin orchestrating the play, and Rance intercepting and distributing with surgical precision. By the final siren, Richmond had ended their 37-year drought, and Martin winning the Norm Smith Medal for best on ground. But the narrative was clear. While Martin received individual accolades, the premiership was a triumph of the trio's synergy. The statistics from the 2017 final series highlights their dominance across the qualifying final, preliminary final, and grand final. Martin averaged 35 disposals, 3 goals, and 10 clearances per game. Cotchin averaged 30 disposals, 7 clearances, and 6 tackles per game. Rance averaged 15 marks, including 8 intercepts, and nullified the league's most dangerous forwards. These numbers tell part of the story, but the real impact was their influence on the flow and culture of Richmond. They could change the outcome of any game by creating pressure, intercepting play, and converting possessions into scoring opportunities. Opponents often focused on one, but the other two would exploit the attention, making Richmond nearly impossible to beat when all three performed at their peak. The legacy of the 2017 Richmond trio is not just the premiership. Martin, Cotchin, and Rance set the blueprint for elite team synergy in AFL. Coaches now use their model to teach young players how complementary skills, leadership, and situational awareness can dominate games. They prove that a trio doesn't need to be purely about individual talent. It's about how the combination elevates the whole team. Post-2017, the trio continued to influence Richmond's culture. Martin maintained elite performance levels, winning additional Norm Smith medals in 2019 and 2020. Cotchin continued as captain until 2021, mentoring younger players and guiding Richmond to consistent finals appearances. Rance, despite retiring in 2019, left a legacy as one of the most dominant defenders in AFL history. Their time together remains a benchmark for excellence, demonstrating how leadership, talent, and synergy combine to create sporting greatness. In terms of media recognition, the 2017 season elevated all three into AFL folklore. Fox Footy described Martin as the most unstoppable midfielder in the modern era, Cotchin as the calming, relentless engine of Richmond's revival, and Rance as the defender who could win games without ever touching a goal. Fans and commentators alike agree that without the trio operating at their peak, Richmond's historic premiership would not have been possible. The story of Martin, Cotchin, and Rance is also a testament to perseverance. Richmond had endured decades without success, but the emergence of these three leaders, developing their individual skills while complementing one another, turned the club into a powerhouse. Their dominance in 2017, particularly during the finals, is still studied and revered, often compared to other great AFL combinations in history. Even off the field, the trio's influence was evident. Martin's professionalism and training ethic inspired teammates. Cotchin's leadership set behavioral and cultural standards, and Rance's disciplined approach to defense provided a model for young defenders. Together, they weren't just players, they were the heart of a club renaissance. By the end of the 2017 season, the statistics, media praise, and fan admiration all pointed to the same conclusion. Dustin Martin, Trent Cotchin, and Alex Rance formed the best AFL trio of the modern era. Their blend of skill, leadership, and game-changing ability turned Richmond from perennial underachievers into champions. The story of this trio serves as a blueprint for future teams. It shows how complementary talent, combined with culture and leadership, can overcome historical obstacles and dominate the sport. When Martin bursts through the middle, Cotchin orchestrates the play, and Rance patrols the backline. Richmond becomes nearly unstoppable, a combination so rare that it'll be remembered for decades. In retrospect, 2017 wasn't just a premiership year. It was the year that Dustin Martin, Trent Cotchin, and Alex Rance redefined what it meant to be a dominant trio in AFL. Their impact went far beyond goals, disposals, and marks. They created a culture of excellence, resilience, and tactical brilliance. They proved that when the right players come together with skill, leadership, and synergy, history can be rewritten. Richmond's 2017 premiership is not just a win, it's a case study in how the perfect AFL trio can lift a team from mediocrity to greatness.